Gamers, how's it going? Today we're going to be doing a what should you play. We do this every event. Basically, I get people from my Discord to send me different lists, different replays, and I'm just going to show you some replays, give you some ideas of what you should be playing in this event. This one in particular looking really fun, nice, pretty original in the sense that I don't think we've had an event like this before. Under 5 is a really sussy name. Don't really like the name, but the event idea itself seems pretty fun. It's a bunch of decks where, you know, you can't play anything above level or rank 5. And for some reason, they removed all links from the event, which I think is pretty cool because technically this rule set would allow for all links to be played except like the one, I think there's a link 6, maybe 2. No, there's like 2 link 6s. So yeah, it's probably a good thing that that we don't have links in this event. It probably makes a lot of sense. It's going to help also lower the power level. So just quickly here, if you want to look, you know, at the loners, Suship is in here, and they didn't put the Primite cards in here, so I don't think you're really gonna want to be playing that. Naturia Vernisylph is here. This seems pretty damn solid. I mean, Naturia Beast is level 5, so I think Naturia could be a good spin. This seems like a decent like a loner deck. Has 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and the main deck has good ratios, so I would say this is probably a pretty good bet. There's also Materiactor here. This list to me looks like really bad. I don't think this is going to be good at all. Sure, 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Ash, but I just don't think so for this one. Materiactor could be good for the event, just not this. So I would recommend the Naturia Loner. Now, if we want to look at a couple of bans, well, most notably, obviously, we have Maxi banned. There's a lot of hand traps that are higher than level 5, such as Nibiru being banned. Evenly Matched is also banned. All these like floodgate monsters are gone. Obviously, they always are pretty much for these events. Runic is actually banned, which is a bit unfortunate. I think would have been pretty fun for this event, but I know a lot of people would disagree with that. In the spells and traps department, you have like Lightning Storm banned, but you still have like Raigeki, and you also have heavy, Harpy's Feather Duster, and you can use 1 copy of Talents, but you can still use 3 copies of Thrust. So I think Mimighoul is going to be pretty good. Anything else really interesting here? It's mostly floodgates, a couple of traps like Daruma Cannon and Rollback. They usually hit that kind of stuff anyway. I don't think there's anything too surprising here. I'd say, you know, mostly pretty much similar to most events. I'm really happy that Konami has picked up the habit I used to cry about, which is to ban Maxi in almost every event. I think it makes events a nice breath of fresh air for the most part. Even though, you know, the Fuwas are here now, maybe that's kind of why they feel super comfortable doing it. But overall, not much complaints on the ban list. Not too much to talk about either. So we're just going to hop into the replays. And the first replay is coming in from me, actually. I kind of cooked up, you know, just a pretty basic Mimighoul pure list, running every single somewhat good or decent rank 1. You can make Utopic Draco Future pretty easy in this deck. And the replay I'm going to show you is this card I found called Evil Thorn, which is like, it uses your normal summon, but you can tribute it to special summon 2 Evil Thorns from your deck. So it's like, you know, it's a pretty cheap rank 1 engine, and rank 1 is a pretty decent 1-card combo in this deck. Better with extenders, but for the sake of this replay, I'm just going to show you the 1-card combo. So let's check that out, and then, you know, I'll move on to showing the ones from the Discord. So I had a better options in hand, but I decided to go for the Evil Thorn thing because that's what I wanted to show off, because I was just so proud that I found this card that I'd never seen before, even though I'm sure I'm not the first person to do this. So tribute Evil Thorn, summon 2 from the deck, go into Giant Mimighoul. Giant Mimighoul gets to search the Mimighoul Maker. Mimighoul Maker reveal Dragon and Archfiend. It sets Archfiend, gets to add and special summon Dragon. Special the Dragon, Dragon search the field spell. We get Dungeon, activate Dungeon, Dungeon search the Mimighoul Fairy. Special Fairy, use these 2, go into Throne. Throne, activate, detach a material. Special from our deck, the Master. Master, grab Armor. Special Armor. And this is kind of where if you had extra gas in the hand, you know, like you could have potentially made an extra interruption. So if you could get 1 more level 1 on the field, like if I already had Fairy in hand or something, or if I already had Armor in hand, something like that. If I could just make an extra rank 1, the extra rank 1 would have been Lyrilusc, Ensemble, Robin, and this would be a twice per turn bounce on special summon on opponent's turn, so that would be pretty good. But here I'm using my 2 rank 1s to make a Utopic Future, And we're going to go into Utopic Draco Future. So I don't have the trap, which means they will be able to use their normal summon effects once they flip both my monsters, and both of them are Archfiends, so nothing too crazy here, but I still thought this was good enough to showcase, you know. So here they go. They go for Sylvie. We're going to negate the Sylvie, you know, grab it. You know, for a one-card combo, it's really not too bad. You know, I'm going to negate that with Ash, and they're going to crash, and then we're just going to end the game right there, right after. Not the craziest showcase. I've got another Mimighoul list that I'm going to show later that might be better than mine, but I just wanted to include myself in my own showcase, okay? Can you blame me? All right, so now we're going to move on to the next one here. Kenny Pickering sent like 1 billion replays, so we're going to go check out one of his replays. So there is this one he sent in, which is Paleo Frog Spright with no links. And while I'm usually not a huge fan of Paleo decks, this looks like a pretty cool one. I used to love Paleo Frogs. I started hating Paleo when it became like that pile deck. So I'm down to check this out. You know, it's going to be a little different for what should you play. Okay, so here we go. We've got Dupe Frog in hand, Dino Mathmech, Liancolia, Imperm, and Double Cross. We're not even setting Double Cross. Okay. So we set Dupe Frog. They're going to go for Terratop, grab attack at Tomborg, activate their Vernu, bring back Rose Whip, summon, go into MX Saber Invoker, and we're going to go for Dino Mathmech. Oh, we needed a discard for Dino Mathmech. That's why. So they're going to go for Mole Cricket, summon Camellia, dump the trap, grab Blessing, activate, get back Mole Cricket. Naturia Beast is not going to be very good in this matchup. Unfortunately, you would kind of need the other guy here. So anyway, they're going to beat into our Dupe Frog. We get to grab a Swap Frog, and then it's our turn. And here we're going to start popping off like crazy. Go Imperm, trigger the Dino Mathmech, bring it back from the grave. And then we can go for our Swap Frog. They're going to go for Ash Blossom on Swap Frog. This is not a once per turn effect. Discard Swap, Special Swap, send Ronin Totem, Totem, banish Dupe Frog. Use these to make Gigantic Spright, special, Spright blue, grab Jet, special, Jet, grab starter, oh, use these 3, go Anomalocris, detach, and they're just going to scoop it up. That was popping off like crazy. Pretty damn good. I just realized I was on the not moving border, so I'm going to change that back. Now, like I said, he sent 1 million, so I'll just play another Kenny Pickering replay. Here, we can look at the list really quick. But Zoodiac is looking like it might be pretty solid. Not the most exciting deck on the planet for most, but, you know, if you got Zoodiac, this is probably going to be an event for you. And I know a lot of people have this because there's been a lot of events where I saw Zoodiac pop up, so let's give it a look. Got Terratop here, Ram, and a couple hand traps going second into what seems to be the deck we just played. So here we go. Terratop, search Tomborg special, use these 2. Make MX Saber Invoker. Our opponent, Kenny, were you playing against yourself with 2 systems? That's crazy. So anyway, Hammer Kong, activate Tenki, go Trident, pop, Tenki, make Chakanine, detach Trident. They're going to go for Imperm on that and bring back their Dino Mathmech. Were you playing against yourself? Use these 2. Make Xyz Armor Fortress, detach 2, grab Armored Xyz as well as the full Armored Xyz. Go for Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2. And we're going to go to battle, beat over. Then we're going to go to end phase, set the full Armored Xyz, and just pass turn here. All right, our opponent sets Called By, goes back to us, and we just go back to battle phase with 1 billion hand traps. Go Chakanine, detach, and we're going to get our Ram on the field, make a Boarbow into another copy of Trident, detach, pop the Ram, bring back Chakanine, go into Tiger Mortar, detach Trident, target Chakanine, attach a material to it, Chakanine, detach, bring back Trident, use these 2, go into the Utopic Future, and go into Utopic Draco Future. Yeah, I mean, considering the amount of hand traps that we had in hand, this seems pretty difficult to play against. I'm not going to lie. Looks pretty good to me, even though we didn't go for lethal. I mean, that's pretty solid. All right, go in, swing. They're going to go for that. We're going to Ash it so that they can't chain another trap in the grave to protect themselves. They go Call By. It doesn't matter. We still get to swing and win the game. All right, pretty good replays. Now we're going to move on to someone else, and I might come back to Kenny because, again, he sent like 1 billion replays. And this next one here is coming in from Grave in the Discord, and he sent a Vernisylph Madolche list. I think Madolche makes a ton of sense, actually, for this event, and you don't really need the links, especially if no one else has links. Like, the slightly lower power level is not a huge deal, and you get access to this super broken hand trap at 3. So I think this looks really solid. We're going to go give it a look. Whenever you can play Madolche in an event at relatively full power, that's usually pretty good because Madolche is always kind of like a sleeper pick for these events. It's definitely something that, like, you know, no one's really prepared for it, and it's always at least pretty good, you know? So here we go. We've got Pettingstar, Angeli, and Madeline. So Madeline, grab Hoot Cake here. We're going to go Pettingstar, special from the hand, special from the deck. Go into Glace Souffle, detach. Targeting Pettingstar, go into Chocolat à la mud, shuffle back, and now we get to send to the grave, special from deck Angeli, summon out Hoot Cake, target, banish, get to summon Messengelato, grab Madolche Shato, shuffle back, we get to go for the effect of Puddingcess, summon from the deck, and then Messengelato, not once per turn, grabs a Madolche Salon, activate, we get another normal summon, can summon another copy of Teacher Glace Souffle, and we've got our Queen Tiara Phrase. Once per turn, you can also XC summon, whatever. Quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, then target up to 2 Madolche cards in your grave, shuffle them into the deck. Also, shuffle up to the same number of cards your opponent controls into the deck. So, quick effect, basically this is now this card. Wait, where is it? The going second card. Yeah, it's this, but on opponent's turn, right? So, pretty damn good. And we also have Promenade. So, looks pretty solid to me. Looks pretty good to me. And this one also makes our monsters unaffected. So here, for example, they go for Forbidden Droplet. We're going to chain our Promenade. And then they're going to go for Branded Opening. Okay, interesting. So summon out. So we did get to negate that, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to go for Aliber, grab the Branded Fusion. We get to set a dessert from our deck here. They're going to get back their Branded in red. Activate Foolish Burial, dump Mercurier, go for Branded Fusion. Don't worry, we won't have to think about this during the event because this deck will not be legal. But, you know, for the time being, in a fantasy setting where you had to face Branded, you can still do this and shuffle some opponent's cards back into the deck here. So we shuffle back their set card as well as their Albion. And we let them banish 2 to make Grand Guignol here. So Grand Guignol gets to fetch, dump the Titaniclad. We go for Albion, dump the Retribution, get back Branded Fusion, but we already used it this turn, so that's not happening. And then we get Branded in Central. I don't even know what this card does. Anyway, they're going to go for Fallen of Albaz here, get to fuse with us in the end phase and make their Mirror Jade regardless. Not bad. Here we can go for dessert. They're going to chain their Mirror Jade, and they're going to get to bring back their Fallen of Albaz, although they don't have a discard for Fallen of Albaz, so that's kind of pointless. And now our turn begins, and we get to just do everything again. So Pettingstar, they're going to go for Grand Guignol, summon Quem, dump the Retribution, doesn't matter. Hoot Cake, activate. They're going to go... Dude, this replay is got a lot going on in this replay. All right. Anyway, go into a Queen Tiramisu, and then, you know, we can detach material, shuffle 3 back, and we can add 1 to our hand, then shuffle 2, bounce 2, set the Promenade, then we can go into Tiara Phrase yet again, beat over, and we just do a little bit of damage, you know, taking control of the game here. We remove cards by shuffling them, so we don't trigger the Mirror Jade or anything like that. Don't have to worry about it. They're going to go for a Saronir, activate Branded Fusion. We're going to go Promenade on Branded Fusion, which is pretty broken here. Get to go for Salon, set another dessert. I'm going to go to battle. We're going to go for Queen Tiara Phrase, you know, shuffle back 2 and shuffle back 2 into the deck. And here, well, we pretty much have checkmate at this point. It was a pretty long replay, but a pretty solid showcase, especially considering that the power level of the format is going to be much lower than facing Branded, even though that build of Branded was a little bit weird. But thank you, Grave. Good replay. Obviously a good deck. And now let's move on. All right, so we're going to try to disperse, you know, the Maz replays throughout the video along with the Kenny ones. So this is the first Maz we're going to look at from Mazinger is Materiactor Goblin. He paired it with Goblin because, well, we don't have links in this event, so we need some extra things that we can do with our rank 3s. I think Goblin makes a ton of sense, and this looks like a great deck. This might be one of the best looking decks I've seen actually for the event. And we're even running Jerry Beansman with a little Primite Roar in there just for good measure. You know, not running the actual Primite package, but just a Roar for good measure. I like it. We're going to check out the replay. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Anytime I can, you know, cover Jerry Beansman on the channel, I'll take the opportunity. Got the Bean Man in hand. You already know that we're going to be doing pretty good if that's the case. Special out the Terror Top. Grab the Takatomborg. Special Takatomborg. Normal Jerry Beansman. Go for Exegard. Detach Jerry Beansman. Summon out the Zepthwing from the deck. It adds and then specials Jerry Beansman back since there was a normal in the grave. Use these two. We can go into Gabonga. And because we activated an Xyz effect, we get to attach the top card of our deck to our Materiactor. Then we're going to go for Goblin Duck Charger. And we also get to trigger our Meltdown here. Stack again. go for that. Summon out the Clatter Exploder, special out the Gabonga, go into Armor Torpedo. Armor Torpedo, detach 2. And then, wow, okay. Okay, we get to attach again. How many times have we attached so far? Okay, so let's go Xyz Armor Fortress, attach again with the Meltdown. At this point, we decide, okay, we give up on getting a hand trap. We're just going to do the Meltdown effect. We got lucky and found critical, and we get to add Exoraptor to our hand. So we got a Gabonga here with a material. We get to add another material to Exegard. It's got 5 materials. That's crazy because it means that, and we do have a normal in the grave, don't we? Yeah, we have a normal monster in the grave. That means that Exegard can bounce 2 cards. No, it can bounce 1 card. We have a Omni-Negate with critical that's going to add back 2 materials from our Exegard to our hand. Unfortunately, got really unlucky with the hand traps, even though we're running a ton. The Shuffler is just totally against us for the Meltdown stacking here. But still, we get to do a lot here. We've got also, obviously, Gabonga, which when we remove a material, we'll be able to suck up. We've got another suck with the full Armored Xyz, and we got Imperm. Like, this is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Okay, so we're playing against freaking Snake Eyes. They're gonna go for Diabel, set the Sinful Spoils. We're gonna get the trigger Clatter Exploder, detach to summon Clatter Exploder, and bring back Doug, and that gives us the ability to suck. So we're gonna suck here, and we're gonna give another material to our Exegard. Then we're gonna detach to summon Boom Mac. Oh, I see. Activate that. Okay, yeah, to make Ashura King. Well, oh yeah, that's right, because the Lancer is not even in the format, so we're not even using this engine for the Lancer. It was just to make Ashura King, which is a monster negate. Like, that's not a bad card to have. They're going to put our Ashura King in the back row, though, with Sinful Spoils, and then they're going to go for Deception of the Sinful Spoils here. Grab the Hallowed Azamina. Go for Hallowed Azamina. Send to grave. Summon out the Soul Erection. Soul Erection. Target Exegard. We're just going to negate the Soul Erection here. We're going to go to Battle Phase, try to beat over. We can go for our Grand Entrance to protect. That's kind of crazy. I mean, Grand Breakout. They're going to go for Wanted, Banish, Shuffle back, get a draw, summon out the Sylvie. We're going to go for Exegard, add 2 of our materials to our hand to bounce their Soul Erection. And then we're going to go for Meltdown, attaching a card again to our Exegard. We can just go cross out on the talents. Feels good, man. We're going to go for Tales of the White Forest. We can Ash, and then they're going to scoop it up. We never even had to use our Omni-Negate counter trap. Really good replay. This deck looks super, super strong. Again, one of the better decks I've seen for the event. I think this is going to be pretty crazy. If you have Materiactor, you should probably try it out. All right, and next up here from Kenny, it does say under 5, so you're allowed to be 5. It's more so like 5 or under, actually, what the name should be. So we're running Sharks. We're running Sharks. I don't know much about Sharks. I'm bad at talking about Sharks, so I'm not going to try, but look at the list. Let me know if you think it looks good. I'm seeing 3 Impulse. That looks broken. Let's just check it out. Shark time. We got Abyss Shark, Buzzsaw Shark, 7th Ascension. Let's get it. So starting off with Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw activates, special a fish from deck, but it gets ashed. Whatever. We have Abyss Shark, grab Drake Shark. Drake! We're going to special Drake, summon out the Bahamut Shark, attach material, summon out the La Virtue, get La Virtue Stream. Then we can detach from Bahamut Shark, add back the Drake Shark to our hand, make full armor Ray Lancer, go into Xyz Armor Fortress, detach 2, get to grab the Reincarnation and the Armored Xyz, activate 7th Ascension, grab the 7th Tachyon, and then we're going to go for 7th Tachyon, grab the Surfacing Big Jaws, shuffle back the other dude, whatever, Big Jaws, summon, get Hydrojet Shark, summon Hydrojet Shark, dump the Xyz Revive Splash, go into a full armored Utopic Ray. They're going to go for Lancia. We're going to go into a Stealth Kragan, and then we're going to get the effect here in the grave of our Reincarnation, equipping it. So let me just read this. Next monster equipped with this card gains these effects. It cannot be destroyed by battle. And once per turn of this card, battle this turn, quick event, you can return 1 card equipped to this card to the hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon 1 Water Xyz monster. Okay, so this is kind of whatever. We also have the Virtue Stream, which is, you know, just basically the Blackout. And what does this one do? Once per turn, yeah. At the start of the battle phase, can negate the effects of all attack position monsters your opponent currently controls. That's kind of cute. And then we have just this Ray that kind of does nothing. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Pretty good setup. Nothing, not too bad at least, you know. So here they go. Send Genjin, go Golem summon, grab the Wedju, activate Wedju. You won't have to worry about this in the event. Now we can go for La Virtue Stream and attempt to pop. It's going to put the Golem back, but that's good enough already. Stealth Kragan target. It gets protected by something. They're going to go for Doom Dragon. We're going to get to go for a Nash Knight here. They're going to go for an SP. SP target the Nash Knight. We're going to go for Droplet. Send. Oh, that's what the Lancer was there for. And then they're going to go for, what the hell? What is this guy playing? Anyway, we get to do a little bit of suck with the Nash Knight. And then we're going to go for Ash Blossom on their inclusion. And just going to scoop it up. I mean, hey, that's a good showing. All right, and the next one here from Kenny Pickering is going to be Pure Lyrilusc. It's Pure Lyrilusc, man. You can't really go wrong with Pure Lyrilusc. We're also running some melffys in here. Is this just for like Veiler? Like in case, I guess we can normal Ash, and one of our Lyrilusc can make like a Herald of the Arclight or some removal if we need it. Kind of cute. We've got everything we need in the extra. Ensemble Robin is broken and an interesting looking card, so we're just gonna get into it. What do we have here? We've got 1-for-1 Veiler, Ash, Ghost Ogre, Imperm. This deck looks broken. Let's go 1-for-1, discard Ghost Ogre, summon out the Celestine, and we get to go for Lyrilusc Bird Call, grab Cobalt Sparrow, Special Sparrow, and we're gonna go for Recital Starling, detach, get to grab the Barrel Canary, target in the grave, special itself in the one in the grave, get this effect to grab another Barrel Canary, use these to go into another Recital Starling, target the other Recital Starling, detach, get the Sapphire Swallow, summon itself and the Barrel Canary from the hand, go into Utopic Future, into Utopic Draco Future. Keep in mind, you don't need to play Nib safe because there's no Nibiru in this format. And then we make an Ensemble Robin. So we have like a Monster Negate Snatch, and we've got 2 special summon bounces plus whatever hand traps or staples you have access to. In this case, this is like 6 interruptions, which is super broken. So Ensemble Robin. Oh, right. This card also does other things. This is actually 3 special summon. Wait, no, this is actually 4 special summon bounces. I didn't think of that. I forgot about that. 4 special summon bounces. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 interruptions. Okay. Pretty crazy. So here we go. Playing some Vernu. We can just Ash the Vernus. They're going to go for Called By. Okay, fair enough. But, you know, you're going to add a card to your hand. Special from the grave. You're going to go for the other Vernu. We're going to go for our Utopic Draco Future. Negate that. They're going to go for Barrage. Barrage pops. Summon out. Go into Trident. Trident, special summon. We're going to go and bounce it. They can chain to pop, so at least that. But we have Imperm, so it feels bad. Feels bad. All right, here we go again. Make a Chakanine, and we're just going to bounce Chakanine. It's over right there. That looks really broken. All right, now you saw Lyrilusc and you saw my Mimighoul, but here's Mazinger's Lyrilusc Mimighoul. You know, it makes sense because any rank 1 basically gives you your Mimighoul combo. And if we can't really play Snake Eyes in this event, this is probably one of the other good ways to do it. Now, he's running a 50 card pile with like a decent chunk of staples, like a good amount, I would say. So I think this looks pretty solid. We're just going to jump in and check it out. I have pretty high hopes for this one. Let's see the combo in action. Ooh, these fields look pretty good together. Okay, so we've got Mimighoul Armor, Barrel Canary, Lyrilusc Bird Call. This hand is just cocaine, dude. This hand is crack. Okay, so Mimighoul Maker, get Mimighoul Dragon and get to special from hand the Mimighoul Dragon. Go for Mimighoul Dragon effect. Grab the Mimighoul Dungeon, activate. We get to search our Mimighoul Fairy. Special Armor from the hand, Special Fairy from the hand. We had a lot of follow-up. Go into a Recital Starling. And they're going to go for Nibiru, which is not something you have to worry about in the event. But anyway, we get to go for our talents here. Go Bird Call, grab Sapphire Swallow, special out the Cobalt Sparrow, grab the Wobbler, and then we can go for Sapphire Swallow, special summon. We get to bring back our Starling, go into Giant Mimighoul, get the Mimighoul Archfiend, detach, pop the Nibiru, burn a little bit for funsies, make ourselves a Utopic Future, Utopic Draco Future, summon out, normal summon the Archfiend. We get to flip their Archfiend, make them discard a card. We get to draw a card. Then we also get to grab back the control and make ourselves a Mimighoul Throne, trigger Barrel Canary, and they're just going to scoop it up. You could already see where this was going, right? Like they were going to summon the Master. Master was going to add to your hand a Archfiend, which would be able to special summon to your opponent's field and face down to flip it on opponent's turn and get another hand loop plus a draw. Not to mention you were going to be able to make an Ensemble Robin with another level 1 since you had Barrel Canary in hand. This was going to be pretty damn broken. Now, I don't know if every hand is going to be that cracked, but it looked pretty cool. And this next one, this is a classic. So coming in from Arrow and Mike, it's our good old Mathmech Dinos. Look, man, this used to be the best way to play Dinos for a while. I stand by that. We came up with that idea ages ago, and back then, dude, it was better than nothing. So it's nice to see Mathmech Dinos back in action. Without Link monsters, both Mathmech and Dino feel a lot more rough. Obviously we're running the scrap engine here to help us with making rank 4s and things of that nature. I'm going to let the replay speak for itself because I'm very curious. Arrowman Mike is really good at concocting dino combos, but I feel like it's definitely going to be a bit harder without Link Monsters. So I just want to see it in action, man. And here we go. We've got Fossil Dig, baby, Lost World. Let's start off with the Lost World here. Activate Fossil Dig. They don't have Ash. Feels good, man. Grab a Misk. We're going to activate Misk, banish Misk, summon Archosaur from the deck, pop the baby, and we also get to chain block it with Lost World. Now they can't use Imperm, they can't target anything other than normals. Get to summon out Ovi from the deck, search a baby. Ovi, pop the baby. By the way, I just want to point out we searched a Caligo Claw Crow with our Archosaur. It can search that. I guess there's no point in searching the pill since there's no UCT, no Pank, none of that. So we're just searching, you know, an extender. Fuck it. Okay, so anyway, baby, summon out the Scrap Raptor. Scrap Raptor pop itself and then trigger its effect to grab a Scrap Chimera. Then we can special out our Caliga Crow since we control a Dark Monster. Go for Scrap Chimera with our extra normal summon. Bring back the Scrap Raptor. Make ourselves an Alum version. Alum version, grab the Mathmech Circular. Mathmech Circular, dump the Nabla. Special Circular. We can go for Alum version. Tribute to bring back Nabla. Then we get the Trigger Circular. Grab our Super Factorial. Get our diameter, and make ourselves a Gallant Granite. Get to add to our hand the Nemesis Keystone. Okay, and we have a level 4 tuner. I see where this is going. So using these two, we can make ourselves a Utopic Draco Future, which is going to get all our Mathmech names in the grave. Okay, that's very clever. What does this card do? If this face-up card would be destroyed, you can attach 1 Xyz material from this card. Face-up monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense for each Xyz material attached to this card. Okay, interesting. We're going to go for Keystone here. Shuffle back the Misk into the deck. Use these two. Make ourselves a Naturia Beast. And we're going to pass it there. This is crazy. So we've got up to removing 3, right? So this is a hand loop, a monster removal, and potentially a back row removal if we get full value. We also get a non-negate from this. We have infinite spell negates functionally. We have a monster negate that snatches a monster. We get a little bit of attack boost on our Xyz. They can't target anything while they control this token, and it's not like they can link it away because there's no links in this event. You also can't use it for Xyz material, so they're going to have to synchro this away if they want to get rid of the Jura Egg token, which is going to be pretty tough. And if they try to crash it, well, in that case, we're going to get to protect it, pop a baby from our deck, so that's pretty crazy. And we also have an Ash, which adds itself to the mix here. So they're just going to draw and scoop it up. That's a good replay showcase. That's definitely looking like a pretty good way to play dinos for the event. The combo, at least, is really crazy. Dinos are going to be dinos. They're going to brick probably a couple of times, but the list is pretty sick. All right, and we're not done with the Kenny Pickering replays. Like I said, he sent a lot of them. Here we have Tearlament, and I just want to point out, by the way, because I forgot to mention it earlier, not everyone sent Master Duel meta links to their lists, but Kenny actually did send Master Duel meta links for all of his lists. So all of Kenny's lists that you see in this video will be linked in the description. If you want to copy any of them, that should make it a little bit easier. But yeah, here we have, I'm sorry to say that we have Tearlaments here, and it's gonna make Winda and some Xyz monsters. I'm not 3 Super Poly. Yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. Starting off, we have Card Destruction, Super Poly, Snow, and we're going second here. So that should be interesting. And we're going second against Mikanko of all things. So anyway, we're going to Ash the Water Arabesque. They're still going to get to do this here. They summon they just Holy Pass. Holy Pass with Rivalry. Hey, that can win sometimes. You know, I've lost to that before. Normal the Fuolos. Go for the effect of Sharon, dumping our Snow, milling 3. We're going to go for Super Poly here, using these two to make a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. And we're just going to go to battle, do a little bit of swinging. And then we're going to go to main phase 2, make Time Thief Redoer. End phase, and so that just means we're going to be fusioning on opponent's turn instead. So Redoer gets to grab a card from our opponent's deck. We're going to go for Redoer effect. They're actually going to go for their Ghost Ogre. By all means, we should be dead with nothing on field. Oh, but we get to Snow after they equip. Flip it down so they don't get to play. Okay. Pretty interesting. Let's keep it moving here. We're going to go for Grief. Grief, summon Havness. Havness sent to the grave. Havness effect. Shuffle back herself and Sharon. Make ourselves a Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos activate. Get to trigger the Scream Mill 3. And we get to add Solik. Then we get to trigger the Rhino Heart. They're going to go for Droll. But we still get to special Rhino Heart. Dump the Trap. Dump a Sharon. Sharon plus someone else make a Mud Dragon. Use these two, make a Laplation with 3 materials. Detach 3. Send all of our opponent's cards to the grave. That's nasty. Go to battle, swing, and okay. All right, that looks pretty bad. In all honesty, I think we're going to be okay. I don't think Tear is going to be a popular pick. But if you do want to play Tear, well, here's a build for you. Oh, yeah, and he also sent Subterror for the event. All right, so we're doing 2 more here. So this has been a pretty long video to record. We included a lot of decks in here. So here we've got, you know, Melffy Spright. I don't think he was able to get a replay where he shows off the Melffy stuff because he was playing against Tempai. It was either he was getting bodied and ranked, or people were scooping to like 1 Spright summon. So shout out Pokemon Trainer. Look, man, I know how it is. Wish I had the time to do a dual room stream like I wanted to do for this event, then you wouldn't have had to send in a replay you're not satisfied with. But we're going to check it out anyway. You know, we're going to throw it in because this does seem like a pretty good option. So summon out Nimble Beaver, special 1 from deck, special Jet, grab a starter, go into Gigantic Spright, special the Spright Blue from the deck, grab a Spright Red, special Spright Red, use these 2, make a Melffy of the Forest, Melffy, detach Spright Blue, grab a Wally, summon out the Carrot Wally effect, special, we get to special Caddy, and then on opponent's turn, whenever it comes up, you know, okay, so here they remove Gigantic of all things, what the hell, and then just scoop it up before we ever get to do our cool stuff. You know, we had a monster negate, spell negate, and we were going to get either a nominee negate with the Herald or a bounce, depending on what we needed with the Melffy Caddy. It looks solid. It looks like a good deck. We're going to move on to our last replay for today. And just as the prophecy foretold, we are going to be ending the What Should You Play with a replay from Mazinger. This is Naturia Purrely, which shout out Jadistic. He used to glaze this deck all the time. In this event, you know, you don't have the tower monster for Purrely or anything like that, but this is still like probably one of the better ways to just discard sacred trees within the format. So, you know, it's good enough. Gets you some level 1 monsters that you can use to make Naturia Beast potentially. Actually, no, you don't. But whatever, you know, it's fine. Hey, you get to run some rank 1s. That's pretty good. All right, let's check it out. We're going first. We got Camellia. We got my friend Purrely. Let's see it in action. Starting off with Camellia here, they're going to go for an Imperm. Totally valid. We're going to go for my friend Purrely, reveal 3 cards. We're going to check out some Pretty Memories. They're going to go for Droll. We're going to have to call by that Droll. We do kind of lose to that card pretty heavily. So here we go. Use talents, draw 2, activate Pretty Memory, summon out the Purrely, grab the Purrely Street. Then Purrely, target the Pretty Memory, get Purrely Beauty attached with Pretty Memory. And I think Beauty is a quick effect monster negate, right? Trigger an effect monster, negate its effects. This is a quick effect if this card has a Pretty Memory as material. So yeah, we have a quick effect, monster negate. We've got Mole Cricket in the grave, which we can bring back to make in a Cherry Beast at some point. But for opponent's turn, we're just going to use Mole Cricket probably to get like 2 monster negates. And we've got 2 hand traps. So that's pretty damn good. We also get recursion from these here. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We also get a draw in the standby from the Sleepy Memory. Wish we had that in hand last turn. Anyway, we're playing against Malice. We're going to go for Valor. If we beat Malice, if we beat Malice, like, come on. All right, so get the GWC, bring back the White Rabbit. They're going to go for a Sign of Mining. What the heck? All right. Lingeribo, we get to special from our grave, the Mole Cricket trigger, and they're going to go for March Hare. We're going to go for our Ghost Spell on March Hare. Feels good. Get our Sunflower out here. We got 2 monster negates. They got to go to battle and beat over our Sunflower. The thing is, we still have our Camellia effect, so once they summon anything, we get to go Camellia, bring back our Sunflower, so they got jabaited, and now, yeah, we actually have 2 monster negates just like that. So they're going to go for a couple of effects here. They're going for the bounce. We're going to negate that by milling 2, and they get to bring back a monster here, go into access code Talker. Now, access code will... Oh, wait, what? Oh, we didn't use it. Oh, Purrely Beauty is a quick effect, but it doesn't have to be activated in response. It targets a card and negates it. So after they gained their attack, we were able to target the access code and negate it so that they couldn't just remove our cards from the field. Sheesh. Okay. I think that's a good final replay. Really good final showcase. This deck looks really solid. I love the mid-rangey nature of Naturia. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the What Should You Play. If you ever want to participate in a video like this, make sure to join the Discord. Link is in the description. This is my favorite series to do on the channel, honestly. Just getting to look at a bunch of interesting decks for the events. Thankfully, these events exist because otherwise I wouldn't be enjoying talking about Master Duel nearly as much. And yeah, so huge thank you to everyone who sent lists, particularly Kenny Pickering this time around, who sent in like freaking 8 lists. I don't even know how many, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Check out the streams. We're going to be streaming the event, so, you know, tune into the streams. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye-bye.